With the release of the new game XDefiant, I'm sure if you haven't been following along with the news about the game since its announcement, then you might not even be sure what the game even is. So let me explain what XDefiant is for you. XDefiant is a free-to-play competitive arena first-person shooter game that's a lot like Call of Duty. It features similar characteristics to Call of Duty, such as the gunplay, the movement, the weapons, the maps, the create a class system, the attachments, and more. The big difference between Call of Duty and XDefiant though is the matchmaking systems between the two. Call of Duty uses matchmaking systems such as engagement optimized matchmaking and skill-based matchmaking to find you a lobby. However, XDefiant doesn't have engagement optimized matchmaking or skill-based matchmaking. Instead, it only has connection-based matchmaking. This is a matchmaking system that the old Call of Duty games had, and is what most people would consider to be the best form of matchmaking. Pretty much, connection-based matchmaking prioritizes connection by putting you in lobbies with a relatively low ping so that you're not lagging at all. This system is really good because it allows for people of all different skill levels within your lobby. That means that some lobbies might have some really good players in it, and other lobbies might have some really bad players in it. However, most lobbies will have a pretty mixed bag of people of all skill levels. So in other words, it's all at random, which is way better than how the matchmaking system has been within Call of Duty over the last few years. Since Call of Duty's matchmaking system uses engagement optimized matchmaking and skill-based matchmaking, it makes for a very controlled experience. Unfortunately, you're being forced to play lobbies with people that are relatively close to your skill level all the time within the casual game modes within Call of Duty. Sometimes the game might throw you an easy lobby here and there, but it's all based on your performance within the game. Luckily, you don't have to worry about this within XDefiant at all, because again, all it has is connection-based matchmaking within its casual game modes. There's no engagement optimized matchmaking or skill-based matchmaking whatsoever. This is the major difference between XDefiant and Call of Duty. But other than that, the games are very similar to each other. I just think that with XDefiant having a much more superior matchmaking system, it easily makes it better than Call of Duty. I truthfully believe that XDefiant has the potential to be as big as Call of Duty, or maybe even bigger. If you still don't believe that XDefiant is better than Call of Duty and can be just as big as Call of Duty or even bigger, then here are some more things that I think XDefiant does better than Call of Duty other than its matchmaking system. Firstly, XDefiant handles microtransactions much better than Call of Duty. XDefiant has a philosophy that microtransactions shouldn't be overpriced or have a bunch of useless stuff within a bundle, and also shouldn't be pay to win whatsoever. So pretty much XDefiant doesn't want to have a bunch of bundles filled with a bunch of useless stuff that you don't want when there's maybe one thing you want in it, but the rest have a bunch of stuff that you don't really care for. For example, like within Call of Duty, you'll have a blueprint for a weapon. Maybe it's a really cool blueprint that you really want, but then the rest of the stuff in the bundle you don't really care for. Like there's a bunch of stickers, emblems, maybe calling cards, or whatever the case might be within this bundle that you don't really care for and you won't ever use, you don't want at all, but you're still going to buy the bundle anyways because you want that one weapon skin within the bundle. However, the bundle is completely overpriced because it's charging you for everything within the bundle instead of just that one weapon skin that you want. Within XDefiant, they have a system where you could just buy the one thing that you want so that you don't have to pay a crazy amount for all this other stuff that you don't want. So let's say there's a weapon skin that you really like within XDefiant. Well, you could buy just that one weapon skin that you want so that you don't have to also pay for the other stuff like the stickers, the emblems, the calling cards, or whatever else. You could just buy that one weapon skin that you want and pay the price for just that weapon skin instead of paying the price for the weapon skin and everything else, if that makes sense. Also, they don't want to put anything that's pay to win within the game, so they're trying not to make any sort of bundles, any sort of maybe character skins or weapon skins that can be considered pay to win, You know, maybe they're, you know, stuff that helps you blend in with your environment very well, or wherever the case might be. They don't want to make bundles like that to where everyone wants to buy it because they know it gives them an advantage within the game. Moving on, there's the things that you could earn within XDefiant. For example, like there's the camos within XDefiant. As of right now, there's only 3 earnable camos within XDefiant. There's bronze, silver, and gold. Now, I do hope that they end up adding more earnable camos within XDefiant, but just the 3 earnable camos they have now, I think the system they have for it is very good. The reason being is because all you have to do to earn these 3 camos is just continuously level up your gun. So that means that so long as you're using the gun and actively leveling it up, then you will eventually earn the mastery camos for it. This is much better than Call of Duty system in my opinion, because Call of Duty system forces you to go on this really long and tedious grind just to get the camos that you want, which really sucks because you have to do all this stuff that you don't want to do. You have to sit there and get long shots or headshots or hipfire kills or double kills or whatever the case might be. You have to do all these challenges with all of these different weapons that you don't want to do. And on top of that, to get these challenges done, you have to level up the weapons pretty much all the way. So you have to get every single weapon maxed out within the game and then do all these crazy challenges with all these weapons just to get a cool camo within the game. It's pretty much forcing you to put hundreds of hours onto the game just to get a cool camo. Compared to XDefiant, it's pretty much allowing you to simply just play the game and have fun with the game and use the guns you want within the game to earn a cool camo. You don't have to go on this crazy grind of doing a million headshots or a bunch of long shots or whatever the case might be. You just have to use the gun and have fun using it, and eventually you'll earn the cool camo you want. The only thing is, like I said, they don't have a lot of camos right now. It's just the bronze, silver, and gold. So I hope they do eventually add more, and maybe for some other camos they can kind of switch it up and do some different challenges. But I think for at least the mastery camos, they shouldn't be like, for the really cool mastery camos, they shouldn't be locked behind this crazy grind that just makes it super difficult and tedious to get it. Now, as for the next thing, which I think is very important, it is the development team that works on XDefiant. They are extremely clear on what they are doing to the game. They have come out with a bunch of different videos and articles pretty much stating that they are doing this, and that to the game, whether it's how their matchmaking system works, whether it's how they're handling their microtransactions, whether it's how they are handling the updates within the game, whether it's the roadmap for the game, whether it's different things that they're doing to the game. They vocalize that very clearly, and they are very open about what they are doing to the game, which really shows that they care about the game and they actually want to see this game do good and succeed, and they want to see people having fun with their game and actually enjoying their game, and they want to see people actually, you know, care about the game just like they care about the game. And I think a development team that's like that is willing to put in the time and the effort and has that passion about the game and really cares about the game, it really pays off for the game and makes the game just that much better, and honestly I think is something that a game requires to be fantastic. Now, another great thing about the game is the factions. Pretty much this game has a bunch of different groups of people that you could play as, pretty much different groups of people from different games within like the Ubisoft universe, I guess you could say. So like you have a group from Ghost Recon, you have a group from Far Cry 6, you have a group from Watch Dogs, you have a group from The Division, and within these groups you have different people that have different abilities and different like ultimates and different pieces of utility that they are able to use to benefit you, the player, and to benefit your team. So like, for example, one of the factions is a group of people that are pretty much focused around healing. So they are able to help heal yourself and heal the team, which is really useful, especially when, you know, you're playing the objective and you have a whole bunch of teammates on the objective, you're able to help heal them up and keep them in the gunfight, keep them in the fight for longer, and help them to stay alive, which is really, really important. And there's a bunch of different abilities across all different factions, and I think they all really work well for this game and add a level of strategy that is a lot better than a game like Call of Duty, because it's not as simple as just like point, shoot, kill the enemy. There's a little bit more to it. There's, okay, you get into a gunfight and maybe this guy throws up a shield, and that changes how the gunfight can go. Or you're in a gunfight and this guy decides to heal himself midway through the gunfight. That could definitely change how the gunfight can go. Or maybe you get into a gunfight and this dude uses his ability, and that ability allows him to take out, like, per se, a flamethrower. That could change how a gunfight can go. So there's a lot of different factors that come into play that can alter the game and how gunfights go, and how you may or may not go about attacking or defending the objective or capturing an objective. And these different abilities that each faction has can honestly make or break a game depending on how well a team is using them. So I think they're honestly really, really good and just make the game that much better. Moving on, I think that the UI within this game is so much better than Call of Duty's. While it's definitely not perfect, and I don't think it's like the best UI we've ever seen in any game ever, it's definitely way better than Call of Duty. And I think a UI is very, very important, because figure it's the thing that you're constantly looking at, when playing the game, whether when you load onto the game and you're looking at that main menu, when it's loading into matches, when it's customizing your loadout, when you're customizing your characters. Like, the UI is just so important, and being able to navigate certain things within the game and find certain things and be able to do certain things within the game, like, again, finding your loadout, customizing your loadout and stuff like that. It just, having a good UI makes stuff like that so much easier, and it's just a huge quality of life thing that I really, really enjoy. And I cherish the fact that they have a better UI than Call of Duty, because it's honestly a big thing in my opinion. Now, another thing that's super, super, super important in my opinion is balancing. So far, this game knows how to properly balance its guns, its equipment, its abilities, its attachments, and so on and so forth. Yes, there's going to be things that are going to be overly powerful, and there's going to be things that are going to be better than other things, but I think the development team has been quick to balance these certain things and has been quick to make the game more fair and allow you to have more options, which is much better than Call of Duty, because Call of Duty usually has one set meta and will keep that meta for weeks or months on end. And there's like maybe 3 to 4 weapons that you could use within Call of Duty, compared to like the now like hundreds of weapons within the game. There's 3 to 4, maybe 5 weapons that you could use just because they're way better than anything else in the game. Whereas in XDefiant, there's a bunch of different things you could use, and there's a bunch of different things that are actually viable. So if there's a weapon that you enjoy using within XDefiant, you could most likely use that weapon and actually do good with that weapon and actually have fun using that weapon, compared to, like, again, in Call of Duty, if there's a weapon that you kind of like but you are finding a hard time using it, it's all because Call of Duty has usually a clear meta, and Call of Duty has, like, again, 4 to 5 weapons that you're able to use, and that's kind of it. Because if you aren't using those 4 to 5 weapons that are good, then you're put at a serious disadvantage. Whereas so far, XDefiant isn't like that at all. XDefiant knows how to properly balance their stuff and allows for a vast range of different things to use. Now, finally, the last thing that I think XDefiant does way better than Call of Duty, and just does way better in general, is the fact that it's free to play. XDefiant is a free to play game, which that right there is massive. Figure for Call of Duty, you have to pay that $70 price tag for the base game, or $100 if you want the base game and all the cool bonus stuff for it as well. Compared to XDefiant, XDefiant is free. You could download it for free, you could play it for free, you could enjoy the game for free. Everything within the game is free in terms of like being able to play the game. Yes, there are microtransactions. Yes, there is a battle pass because the game has to make money somehow. So it's going to promote things like a battle pass. It's going to have bundles in the store that you could buy, but playing the game itself is completely free, and that is huge. And I think that is so important for this game, and is what is going to make this game just blow up, in my opinion. And it's something that allows you to be able to test out the game and kind of get a feel for the game and be able to see if the game is right for you without paying a dime. And if you end up liking the game or even loving the game and you really enjoy the game, then yeah, you could go ahead and buy the battle pass. You can go ahead and buy bundles within the store, but you don't have to do that. You could, again, just play for completely free, and I think that is so huge. Anyhow, I think that's going to be it for this video. So I hope I was able to explain what XDefiant is in its simplest form and kind of explain why it's better than Call of Duty, because at the end of the day, XDefiant is pretty much a clone of Call of Duty, but everything that Call of Duty does wrong, XDefiant does better. And that's kind of the point that I wanted to make today, is that XDefiant and Call of Duty are pretty much like the same game, but XDefiant is just so much better in pretty much every way compared to Call of Duty. So if there's anything you could take out of this video, it's that XDefiant is pretty much Call of Duty in the sense that everything is pretty much similar, like the weapons, the maps, the create a class system, the attachments, you know, so on and so forth. But the big difference between XDefiant and Call of Duty is XDefiant has a much better matchmaking system because it has connection-based matchmaking within its casual game modes, compared to Call of Duty, which has engagement optimized matchmaking and skill-based matchmaking, which is honestly just one huge terrible rigged system and is just getting so old and stale. And I think XDefiant brings a new, fresh and exciting alternative to Call of Duty and is just a much better option compared to Call of Duty. And I think it's going to be within years to come, because I don't see Call of Duty changing their matchmaking system and the other things within their game. Whereas to XDefiant, it has a good matchmaking system. It has, you know, a solid foundation. It has great gunplay, great movement, and it just does so many things right. Like I said, the microtransactions, the development team actually listening and caring, you know, the factions, the UI, the balancing, the fact that it's free to play, like all of those things are just what make it so good. But I think that's going to be it for this video. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you guys did enjoy this video, then please give the video a like, and if you guys want more content like this, then please subscribe to the channel. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and yeah, bye guys, have a good one.